Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be showing you how to make an unforgettable pizza. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add some magic oil. Now, anytime you put sauce on a pizza, we always bring the pizza to the sauce. And this really helps us reduce the amount of mess we make when applying sauces to our pizza. And we're always trying to keep the food serving line as clean as possible. So just remember, we always bring the pizza to the sauce. Now, after applying magic oil just to the crust, this person wanted some red sauce. So notice how much red sauce I'm using, and then also notice how I'm applying the red sauce. We use these spoons to spin the sauce back and forth, round and around, and you want to make sure that you're getting the red sauce evenly dispersed and not really heavy on one side and really light on another side. And this is going to take practice, and that's totally okay. You guys are going to get great at this the more you do it, but make sure you're trying to evenly spread out the sauce, and then also make sure to leave about a pinky's width of crust available for our pizza. Now make sure you're not leaving too much crust available, because then it makes our pizzas look weird. And so what you're really going for is about a pinky's width or a thumb max for the amount of crust that we didn't spread sauce on. If I had to choose, I would rather you guys spread the sauce too far instead of too close. The next thing we're going to talk about is mozzarella. And the amount of mozzarella you put on each and every pizza is extremely important. And so we're going to show you what we want you to start with on every single pizza. And I'll tell you why afterwards. But get a really good look at how this end product looks. And I want you to notice a couple things. First, look at how you can see the red sauce still. You can see right through the mozzarella, and you can still see the red sauce, and that's okay, because when we cook the cheese, it's going to melt and it's going to spread, and you will no longer be able to see the red sauce. A lot of people think that if you can see the red sauce when the cheese isn't melted, then that's how it's going to look when it's done, and it's just not true. That pizza is going to be fully covered with plenty of cheese when it's done. So that's the minimum. That's where we want you guys to start. And then if the guest wants more, they can always request more. Another thing I want you guys to notice is that the sauce came all the way out to almost the edge of the crust, right? We left about a pinky's or a thumb's width available for crust. But the cheese also comes out to the edge of the sauce. Okay, so the cheese matches the sauce. You don't want to have this layered line where it goes crust, sauce, then cheese. You want it to basically just look like crust and then cheese, and that cheese will cover all the sauce that's on the edge of that pizza right there. So as you can see, we're moving on to some pepperonis, and look at how I'm placing the first toppings on the edge of that line. And that line that's created by where the sauce and the cheese ended, that's where we place our toppings. And there's so much more room available on the outside of a pizza instead of the inside of a pizza. And so we place most of the toppings on the outside of the pizza, and then just a little bit on the inside of the pizza. And if you do it that way, it's not going to build these huge weird mountains of pizzas that you never see at any other restaurant. But it's just from knowing how to apply toppings. You always start around the very edge of the outside and then finish with less in the middle, because the middle is just a really small area, right? It's a lot smaller than the rest of the pizza, but a lot of people have the instinct to put a bunch of toppings in the middle. Fill the outside first, and then come back in the middle at the very end and just put a little bit in the middle, and I promise you at the end it'll look very well, very even, and very balanced. Another thing I want to talk about is don't just throw the toppings on there. We want to place the toppings down with intent. We're trying to make the pizza look good. We're trying to make it look even. We're trying to make it look organized, and we're trying to keep it flat too. We don't want to build mountains of pizzas. So keep all those things in mind. Always ask for someone to check out your pizzas when you first start, so we can just make sure that you're doing a great job and help give you any tips that might help you make a better looking pizza.